The key factor of a smart city, of a smart community, is the word connection. So, taking a look to the aspects of what's happening today, this is the question we have to focus if you want to plan a smart city. And the term is complexity of the context we are going to face in planning. Data and connection. 90% of the data recorded by humans in the last 2 years is not a number, is a revolution. I want to remember Prigozhin because of this extraordinary discovery of finding that complex systems are not only chaos. A complex system is able to find a stability far from equilibrium. That's a very strange concept. On the left, you find a document of United States of America. It's a report committed by Obama, who asked to the best scientists of the world, involving also the IT companies, how is possible to manage sustainability with technology, with development, with industry. The answer is involve the maximum number of people, that infrastructure that mobilize information, creating not systems, software that can help a lot of people deciding together. I like to say that a city is smart when it is sustainable. This is the idea of the city. It is a very high and strategic level of vision of a city, but it is the reason why I like to call it a bio-cognitive model for a city. We have to copy. We have to be probably inspired by nature if you want to create that. This process of e-governance becomes from an experiment we have done in Italy about the Cucumber project, because something very important we learned by this experience, the Cucumber experience. We created a network of people joining and connecting. Stressor, things that produce impact with people. And that experiment helped us to understand that it creates innovation. Because we have tested, we have touched with our hand the processes started with Cucumber creating this kind of situation. We do need probably tools for the evaluation, and we have to find immediately the criticity before planning, before new proposal. We do have to understand how it works, the system around the city, around the city like a system, like a bio-cognitive system. Which are the criticity? Using open data. Open data now are developing a lot everywhere in the world. Crowd data, that's fundamental because the city is made of people. We do the city for the people, okay? Not for the parking. The parking are for the people. So when we work, we have to think about the technology, but we have to think about the people that we have to suit well together by technology, by the powerful possibility opened by technology. So that's the reason why, after the baseline objective that we find in a very objective way, but also hearing of the movement, also sensitivity of a city coming from people directly, we have to find, we think, decision support system for transforming your objective into decision. And this is the key point of discussion. Decision support system uses science, but we have to tell the truth to ourselves. We do not have the model for making the best decision. So that's the reason why we have to use the best models and the best way to communicate, to share data, information with the largest number of scientists, people, and everyone has to go a role into this process if we want to go toward a quality process. We think the key factor for opening a new world of social responsibility is to share all the information. When we published on the Cucumber network the impact, and people started not only to see impact against them, but who impact who. It's not for finding someone to kill. It's for finding the best solution, giving the system a perception like if it was an alive system. putting itself in the best condition for surviving. That's the reason why the paradigm we want to promote by Cucumber is to open, to share the information about impact, because if we see each other, it's necessary a complex system finds the best solution to get aware. It is a platform in which every kind of your project, every kind of your model, of your idea, of your suggestion, of your technologies can play a very strategic role if you want to make the world a better place.
Giuseppe Magro has been stimulating us in the UK to think about things along the lines of his idea of Cucumber, and I just want to talk a bit about an approach that so I should say it has an approach, a systems approach. He didn't use that word, I noticed, in his presentation. It's another way of talking about the connectivity and leading to decision-making, involvement, and so on. And I find that quite interesting, and I'll show you one or two ideas from that. So what is intelligent e-governance, which I think is one of the titles of this session? It's the application of the concept of the city as a system, as I would say, using data, human involvement, and e-systems to improve decision-making and social political involvement in exploring and understanding and establishing governance and specific policies. And the great value of the system thinking is it enables you to bring together the natural sciences, technology, and social sciences. And now this application over all these areas of science is tremendously improved because we have a tremendous range of technology for communication and computation. So my last sort of area here is involving people. So, and again, Professor Magro has referred to this. People provide data. They provide it to government, commerce, science in defined ways where the information is in some particular format. And they may provide information in terms of response to proposed policies. And as I mentioned, we should perhaps be asking people to consider alternatives. Social media, it has no formalized structure. And this may be a problem, but also, of course, this is a new challenge. How do you study this data which is not formalized? And of course, it's also important for verification. Now, the last point is that information is not just going one way from people to government, people to society, but the information coming back to people in relation to the data that they put out. And it could be their own or other people's data. And there's two examples. Well, we've already had the Cucumber advertisement and this remarkable way in which information of many types of environmental impact is put together in order to give an overall view. So I put that slide up. But this is the one which I think is one of the most remarkable results anywhere in the world for combining a science and human approach to a very difficult problem. So the people with these mobile phones will send back a simple message, which is a color-coded one. It's a yellow one if the river level has got to your knee. It's an orange one if it's got to your tummy, and it's a red one if it's somewhere up here. So this information is from all those areas, goes to some central location, and with time, the people in the central location are then computing how the river flow will be moving in the next 10 minutes, hour, and so on. So that's data coming in, quite informal data, which is extremely valuable. The data is then processed in real time. But then what's important is that information goes back to every individual where they're sitting, or and telling them either they're going to be, as it were, drowned, or they should move away, or don't worry, the water level is going to drop. So this is an example of the use of a very sophisticated use of modeling two-way data in a very complex situation.
In the programme, which you can see here, so there'll be one on Christchurch, sort of recovering after the earthquake, real-time crowdsourcing, data and modelling, air quality networks, Then I'll talk about the UK grid, and then a more philosophical approach, perhaps a short-term problem to a long-term strategy. So the first speaker today.
So this is the home screen of Cucumber, the web platform. The data, this is Cambridge, one of our partner cities. We uploaded over 100 data sets from over 30 data providers as part of the project. The data are organised into hierarchical tree structure. In the transport category, this is road data, showing major road emissions. So these are the roads colour shaded by CO2 emissions. So you can see the major roads, the motorways, show up in red, and clicking on the roads it's possible to view the CO2 emissions and the particulate emissions, the local air quality emissions for the roads. Live data bringing in real-time weather forecasts, real-time European predictions of air quality, and then modelling 30,000 road sources explicitly with CRC's own air quality modelling software to create a street-level forecast. So this is from a couple of days ago, but if I was able to use the website on this computer, I could show you today's forecast and tomorrow's forecast. The way this works, so Cucumber has been adopted by a number of municipalities in Italy, including Lombardia and the Regional Environmental Protection Agency in Lombardia. Citizens can report odour problems, so Cucumber is very much a map-based platform. People can click on the map and report odour problems by assessing the odour on a very simple scale of 1 to 5. It's possible to bring those together and identify likely sources of odour nuisance. So by bringing in spatial and time information of where people have reported the smells, calculating a back trajectory with the weather data and the dispersion model. So, in conclusion, Cucumber, we feel, presents new ways to assess impacts and communicate with the public. The UK, we've shown it being used with official data, city data, helping cities promote their agenda of openness and sharing data with the public.